My grandma and my dad used to tell me a lot of stories about the vegetables that my great grandparents pulled out of this garden. Some pretty epic stuff. My grandma's always had a green thumb, and from what I've heard, great grandparents were the same way. Pretty excited to kind of bring back the garden that they used to feed themselves out of and love and care for so long, and take this really big step towards being self-sustaining. So my first trip back out to the property after many years was back in January to kind of check things out and make sure this place was going to be viable. In the meantime, while I was here, I took the opportunity to go ahead and plant some of the stuff that would hold up through the winter. So I got all my garlic in the ground, I got some Egyptian onions in, and some shallots. I was already seeing sprouts when I came back the next month, and they've been going strong since. Another chilly morning. Just like every morning, I like to stop by the garden and take a look at any new growth and make sure it's all still in one piece. But I'm seeing all this new growth from these walking onions. You can tell what they are because they have this really cool purplish color. This is the bulk of them. It's just right here in this first couple feet or so. Now, because I planted the garlic and onions and that in the middle of winter, I did want to do something to try and protect them for the month or so I was gone. So I did mulch over the top of these. Now, I didn't have any store-bought mulch sitting around, so it was pretty much a collection of little bits of debris and leaf litter and things like that. So I just threw that right on top. Unfortunately, that caused some pretty big issues. As the mulch sat on top of it and it got the snow and the rain and everything else, it just kind of compacted it down and created this wall that it just couldn't break through. The garlic is a really strong grower. It's very sturdy and it poked up very well. And it was also one of the lighter areas that I mulched. So after about another month of sitting on it and watching and not seeing a lot, I started to poke around more. Started to peel back the layers of this mulch that I had thrown on top, and I could find the little shoots kind of trying to find their way up and not having much success. So I carefully removed all that I could that was just blocking all of the growth, and they started doing really well. After that, I was able to get the onion seedlings into the ground and get them growing right alongside. I planted about 3 varieties of bulb onions and then some green onions as well. Well, spring is here, so it's time to get some stuff in the ground. But the focus now is getting this beast prepped. It's about 14 by 21, 22 feet, something like that. And this is what's going to house all the spring plants that we got going. Got a bunch of seedlings in the greenhouse ready to transplant. And then we got some more seeds to sow directly in and start getting those going now that the weather's starting to mild out a bit. Yeah, digging this new plot out was pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of long days, sore nights, and even more sore mornings. The fortunate side of that is I've been putting on a lot of muscle. Definitely worth the work. A lot of sweat and effort and time went into getting this all ready. But it was well worth it in quite a few different ways. Oh, it's a heavy beast. Gotta go fast, keep that momentum. That way when I hit those bumps, just keep going. Big advocate of going fast to get things over with when they're hard. But being out here definitely teaches you to slow down. Going too fast is how you get hurt.
Hi, Bubba. The digging wasn't too crazy as far as being real hard packed or very rocky. The soil here was pretty nice. It's kind of a good mix of sandy and that kind of fresh forest floor that's got all that kind of naturally decaying goodness that the plants love to eat and thrive in. So it was pretty easy to kind of break through. It was mostly just scraping back that top layer of sod and then kind of breaking up underneath it so it's got some good workable soil underneath. The big thing that I had to kind of do near the end was just clear all the debris. Oh, hold on, manager's coming. She's got to check my work. Does it meet approval? So I ended up going through pretty much this whole thing by hand for the most part, and with the rake and the hoe and all that stuff too, but I found it definitely more effective just to go through with my hands and kind of shake out what soil I could and throw the rest off to the side. But we got it all cleaned up and ready to plant. I wanted to put some fencing up, partially for keeping animals out. Of course, this fencing isn't going to do a whole lot for anything determined enough, especially the deer, which could easily jump it. But the bigger reason for me was Emmy. She loves to get in the way and run blindly through things, and she also loves to eat plants. So I had no doubt that she would definitely victimize some of the new babies going in. So I wanted to do what I could to kind of protect them from her shenanigans and the animals that were around and everything else. So we got this little bit of fencing that I had sitting around here and a roll that I picked up and got just kind of this first immediate area fenced off, but we've got a lot more plans. So long-term goal here is to have this completely enclosed like we're going so far, and then right here have it come in and then back around to enclose all of these fruit trees, and then come all the way back to the house to where I can have this sectioned off into a gate where Emmy can come and go back in here as she pleases. Right now I've got this fence strung up over to that tree, and then this section here I'm thinking I may be able to stretch it far enough to come over here, which will protect these two plots somewhat for now. I definitely don't have enough to keep going around this way right now, but I can kind of temporarily get it set up to protect this area so we can get everything else in the ground, and call it good for now until I'm ready to start expanding a little bit more and put the money into some more fencing. So I think that's what we're going to try and do, and see if we can get it stretched over here. I've got some other rolls of little bits and pieces I might be able to make work if it won't stretch, but fingers crossed. So I've got one gap of fence left to go. This little way in right here is the only thing I don't have completely sectioned off, which gives access to our onions and scallions and garlic and all that. But there is a smaller fence that separates it from the main plot that we're going to be starting to go into. But we've got the fence running along here temporarily. It's all secured down at this point, so we've got a little bit of a barrier to keep stuff out from where we're going to be planting our spring seedlings that we've got ready to go in the greenhouse. Yeah, we got our plots dug up, fences up, so it's about time to finish our planting. Our onions seem to be taking pretty well to their new home so far. Nobody seems particularly unhappy yet, so that's good. They actually look a bit healthier than they did inside, so hopefully that's off on the right foot. Got a couple irises springing up inside the main bed here, which there was a bunch of these irises all throughout here. So we've got to go through and pluck some of those out before they start start interfering with other things, but overall it's looking pretty good, and I'm excited to get going on this new bed.
Oh man, slept in. Never sleep in. I'm always beating the sun up. But we got stuff we gotta do today. Objective is to get these guys in the ground out in our new plot out here. But just still gotta do a little bit of prep work. But this section over here is what we're gonna be starting to fill up. This one here, I actually dug out this area yesterday and started to get it ready for some chives and dill and some other things. Still got a little bit more work to do there. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and finish prepping this, get our lettuces in the ground, and then I'll go ahead and finish messing with this one and get some of our direct sows done as well. So exciting stuff.
What are you doing? Busy business.
Where's your stick? What do you do with your stick? I bet. Well, bless you. Go sneeze here.
After we got things prepped, I started to measure out the areas that we were going to actually be planting in. I wanted to make sure I had the right spacing between the rows and between the plants and everything else. That way they had enough room to grow and not compete with each other. And I also had enough room to work around and get to what I needed to get to. Well, this is the part that I had been waiting for this whole time, getting these guys into the ground. I had been watching them grow in the greenhouse, raising them from seed for so long, and I couldn't wait to get them outside. I wanted, in this first round of planting, to get out most of the lettuces that I had going. I had a few different varieties here. I had kale that I wanted to get in, some arugula, thyme, sage, some chives, and dill. These were all of the first wave of transplants and a few direct sows. This is the stuff that's going to do well in the cooler weather, hold up to some light frost, and be okay in this early spring window here. Even though this took a lot more back-breaking labor than anything else I've done out here, it was by far the most enjoyable thing that I've done so far. It's really cool to kind of bring back this family legacy, this family garden, and use it to feed another generation and hopefully more going forward. So much of this is about not just building a life for myself, but hopefully the rest of the family can enjoy it as well, whether that means just them coming out for vacations, or if one day some crazy idiot like me decides they want to live out here in the middle of nowhere and enjoy everything I've had, the pleasure of building and living out here, that this land is there for them and their family.